Jaguar Paw was sharing the meat from their successful hunt with his fellow tribe members. Among the group was a man named Blunted, who had been unable to have children. To encourage him, Jaguar Paw suggested that if Blunted ate the wild boar's testicles, it would help him have children. Of course, this wasn't true. It was just a prank by Jaguar Paw meant to lighten the mood. As they prepared to carry the wild boar back to their village, Jaguar Paw suddenly sensed something following them and turned to look. His group also became alert and noticed movement behind them. Soon, another tribe emerged from the bushes. Thinking they were enemies, Jaguar Paw and his group got ready to defend themselves. However, the leader of the approaching tribe offered them fish as a peace gesture, requesting permission to pass through their land. Recognizing they were not enemies, Flint Sky granted them safe passage. Afterward, the leader called his people, who had been hiding in the bushes, to continue their journey. Before leaving, the leader explained that they were seeking new land because their own had been destroyed. Then, they departed, disappearing back into the forest. After that, Jaguar Paw and his group returned to their village. When they arrived, Flint Sky instructed them not to tell the villagers about the other tribe's land being destroyed. The village of Mara thrived peacefully and joyfully under Flint Sky's leadership. However, Blunted's mother-in-law was eager for a grandchild, so she constantly nagged Blunted about not being able to have children. She went as far as to force Blunted and her daughter into a room in the middle of the day, insisting they try harder to give her a grandchild. Jaguar Paw's wife, Seven, was pregnant and already close to giving birth. Together, they had a young son, and with another child on the way, their small family was about to grow. That night, the villagers gathered around a bonfire, celebrating and dancing joyfully. But little did they know, this would be their last night of peace. As dawn approached, Seven, unable to sleep due to a dog's constant barking, asked Jaguar Paw to quiet it. While the villagers slept deeply, another tribe, led by the ruthless Zero Wolf, crept into the village to destroy it. When the dog's barking suddenly stopped, Jaguar Paw sensed something was wrong and went outside to check. To his horror, he saw their huts being set on fire. Acting quickly, he woke his wife and child and led them to safety before it was too late. Members of the invading tribe launched a silent and brutal attack on the villagers of Mara. The villagers awoke, and a fierce battle broke out between the two groups. Jaguar Paw quickly led his wife and son to safety, guiding them to hide deep inside a large pit about 20 feet down. Just as they were climbing in, one of the attackers spotted them and charged toward Jaguar Paw. Reacting quickly, Jaguar Paw hurriedly lowered his wife and child into the pit, then turned to face his enemy. He fought off the attacker and, after defeating him, told his wife and child to stay hidden in the pit while he returned to help defend the village. The Mara villagers were taken by surprise and struggled in the fight as their village burned around them. Although Blunted was strong and fought fiercely, he was ultimately overpowered by the enemy's numbers and captured. Flint Sky found himself locked in a desperate battle with an enemy named Middle Eye. Just as Flint Sky was on the verge of defeat, Jaguar Paw arrived to help him. Jaguar Paw and Middle Eye clashed intensely, each fighting to gain the upper hand. Jaguar Paw was close to winning, but Zero Wolf, the leader of the invaders, appeared and captured him, stopping his victory short. Angry with Jaguar Paw, Middle Eye tried to kill him, but Zero Wolf stopped him, which only made Middle Eye angrier. Just then, Jaguar Paw called out to his father, saying, "Father, forgive me." Middle Eye realized that Flint Sky was Jaguar Paw's father and, filled with spite, killed Flint Sky right in front of him. But Jaguar Paw could only watch, unable to do anything. Zero Wolf and his tribe completely destroyed the village, capturing all the villagers and taking them as prisoners for the upcoming sacrifice. Jaguar Paw glanced anxiously toward the pit where his wife and child were hiding, feeling deep concern for their safety. As they reached a certain point on the path, Zero Wolf's other group was there waiting for him. At that moment, Jaguar Paw noticed that the tribe they had previously encountered while hunting boar had also been captured. Along the way, Middle Eye tormented the wounded captives, showing no mercy. The journey toward the city was grueling, and when they reached a steep incline, one of the injured captives slipped and nearly fell down the mountain. Middle Eye simply watched, making no effort to help, and forced them to climb back up on their own. With the support of Blunted and Jaguar Paw, the captive managed to climb up, only for Middle Eye to push him back down the mountain in cold blood. At that moment, Zero Wolf appeared and sternly warned Middle Eye not to kill any more of their captives. Seven and her young son waited helplessly, hoping someone would come to rescue them. As night fell and the captors stopped to rest, Zero Wolf commended his son, Cut Rock, for his skill in battle, rewarding him by giving him his dagger as a mark of honor. Meanwhile, Jaguar Paw looked up at the sky, praying for the rain to hold off, fearing for the safety of his wife and child hiding in the pit. At dawn, as they continued their journey, they came across a young girl crying beside her mother, who had collapsed due to a contagious illness. The girl approached the warriors, pleading for help, but because she was infected, they pushed her away, avoiding any contact. The girl then noticed Jaguar Paw among the captives and stared at him with an intense, mysterious look. She turned to the warriors and told them, "The one who will end your lives is already among you." She went on to say, "He will come running with the black jaguar and strike you all down." Her ominous words unsettled the warriors, but they pressed forward on their journey, now filled with a sense of dread. Soon after, the group led by Zero Wolf, along with the captives, arrived back in the Mayan city. The prisoners, now working like slaves, were forced into hard labor, while the Mayan citizens themselves were suffering immensely. The people were plagued by a contagious disease, and the economy and agriculture of the kingdom were in ruins. The captured male prisoners were smeared with a purple-colored substance all over their bodies, while the female prisoners were sold as slaves for labor. Blunted's mother-in-law, too old for anyone to want, was released instead. Blunted, seeing his helpless mother-in-law, felt a deep sense of sorrow and pity for her. Soon after, Jaguar Paw and the others were horrified as they looked at the gruesome images of prisoners being brutally executed on the walls. They then arrived at a large, elevated platform where human sacrifices were made in the heart of the Mayan city. On the ground, the citizens cheered and supported the gruesome ritual with intense enthusiasm. The Mayan high priest told the people that sacrificing the captives would help eliminate the economic decline and plagues that had fallen upon their city. He then began the ritual by taking a captive to the sacrificial platform. After the captive was executed, the decapitated body was cast down from the high steps of the platform. The next person selected was from the Mara village, and Jaguar Paw grew terrified as he realized his turn was approaching. The Mayan people were deeply satisfied with the sacrificial ritual, while Jaguar Paw, moments from death, worried about his wife and child. After the second captive was sacrificed, it was finally Jaguar Paw's turn. Blunted silently prayed for Jaguar Paw's safe passage. Resigned to his fate, Jaguar Paw calmed himself, preparing for death. But just as he was about to be sacrificed, a strange event occurred. A sudden solar eclipse darkened the sky. Seeing this, the high priest and the Mayan king were pleased, while the people fell silent in awe. After a brief darkness, the sun reappeared, and the high priest interpreted it as a sign that the gods had accepted their offering. Following this, Zero Wolf led Jaguar Paw and the other captives to a large field. Zero Wolf handed his son, Cut Rock, a weapon, and instructed him to wait at the far end of the field. Then, Middle Eye released Blunted and another captive, ordering them to run. As they fled, Zero Wolf and his warriors unleashed arrows, spears, and stones upon them. Those who stumbled and couldn't rise again were swiftly finished off by Cut Rock with his weapon. After that, they released Jaguar Paw and another captive again, urging them to run. Realizing the situation, Jaguar Paw didn't run straight but zigzagged to avoid being easily targeted. However, both of them couldn't evade the warrior's arrows and fell to the ground. When Cut Rock approached to finish off Jaguar Paw, Blunted pulled at Cut Rock's leg to stop him. Cut Rock swiftly killed Blunted and turned back to focus on Jaguar Paw. As Cut Rock neared, Jaguar Paw broke the arrow shaft lodged in his stomach and used it to fight back against Cut Rock. Seeing Cut Rock fall, Zero Wolf and his warriors rushed forward, while Jaguar Paw quickly pulled the arrow from his stomach and escaped into the dense forest. Zero Wolf, feeling sorrow for his dying son, bid him a final farewell. Afterward, determined to avenge his son, he and his warriors pursued Jaguar Paw into the forest. Despite the wound in his stomach, Jaguar Paw pushed forward, motivated by the thought of reuniting with his wife and child. Zero Wolf and his men chased him relentlessly through the jungle. Due to the pain from his arrow wound, Jaguar Paw eventually found himself unable to keep running, so he climbed up a tree to hide. While Jaguar Paw was hiding in the tree, Zero Wolf and his group reached the area nearby. Blood from Jaguar Paw's wound dripped down onto Middle Eye's shoulder as he passed beneath the tree. As Zero Wolf's group continued searching for him, they momentarily lost track of his trail. However, one of the pursuers noticed the blood on Middle Eye's shoulder, realizing that Jaguar Paw was hiding somewhere in the tree above. This led them to search the tree more closely, determined to find him. While hiding in the tree, Jaguar Paw came across a black jaguar cub. As he turned around, he saw the cub's mother, a large black jaguar, staring at him with a fierce gaze, ready to defend her young. Overcome by fear, Jaguar Paw immediately bolted from his spot, momentarily forgetting his stomach wound in his urgency to escape the jaguar's reach. Zero Wolf and his group, noticing Jaguar Paw running towards their direction, prepared to intercept him ahead. However, they were unaware that the large black jaguar was now chasing him. As soon as they spotted Jaguar Paw, they intensified their chase, driven to capture him. Jaguar Paw had deliberately lured the Black Jaguar towards Zero Wolf's group. As one of Zero Wolf's warriors neared Jaguar Paw to capture him, the Black Jaguar pounced on the warrior and fatally bit him. Other members of the group quickly arrived and killed the Jaguar with their weapons. Meanwhile, Jaguar Paw continued his relentless sprint towards the familiar forests of his homeland. The death of the Black Jaguar filled the group with fear, as they believed the gods would punish them for killing such a sacred creature. Remembering the young girl's prophecy, they realized that Jaguar Paw might indeed be the one who would bring their end. However, Zero Wolf dismissed such superstitions and urged his men to focus on capturing Jaguar Paw. After that, they continued to pursue Jaguar Paw, searching tirelessly for him well into the night, but they were unable to find him. Meanwhile, at the pit where Seven and her child were hiding, two monkeys started fighting nearby. Suddenly, one of the monkeys fell into the pit, and Seven had to kill it. At dawn the next day, they continued their relentless pursuit of Jaguar Paw. Eventually, one of the group members noticed remnants of blue body paint left on the tree, marking Jaguar Paw's path. Just then, a highly venomous snake suddenly bit him. Realizing that the snake's venom was too strong to save him, the man cried out, believing that the gods were punishing them. Zero Wolf, knowing he could do nothing to help, made the difficult decision to leave his companion behind. Due to the wound on his stomach, Jaguar Paw struggled to run quickly. Zero Wolf and his group closed in on him, firing arrows in his direction. Using the last of his energy, Jaguar Paw managed to reach the edge of a tall waterfall. Looking down, he hesitated, as the drop was incredibly high. However, when Zero Wolf and his men caught up, he had no choice but to take the leap. The group assumed he didn't survive the fall, but moments later, Jaguar Paw emerged from the water below, having survived against all odds. Jaguar Paw then shouted with pride, declaring that this jungle was his homeland and that he had hunted here since he was a child. Filled with courage, he challenged anyone who dared to continue chasing him to come and try. When one of Zero Wolf's men hesitated and suggested going around instead of jumping, Zero Wolf immediately killed him for his cowardice. Then, he ordered the remaining men to jump alongside him. They all took the plunge into the waterfall, though one of them hit a rock below and was killed instantly. The others survived and continued their relentless pursuit of Jaguar Paw, determined to catch him. As Jaguar Paw was running, he fell into a pit of quicksand. He grabbed onto a vine, but it snapped, pulling him further down. However, being familiar with this jungle since childhood, he managed to climb back out of the quicksand pit. Meanwhile, Seven was trying to climb out of the pit, but due to her pregnancy, she couldn't pull herself up. Zero Wolf and his group, while pursuing Jaguar Paw, suddenly stopped in their tracks as they saw something that stunned them. Covered head to toe in thick mud, Jaguar Paw no longer looked fully human. His appearance was almost otherworldly. He carried something wrapped in large leaves, which he then hurled toward his enemies before sprinting off. The bundle turned out to be filled with a swarm of angry bees that immediately attacked Zero Wolf and his warriors. Overwhelmed by the stings, the entire group scattered, running away to escape the relentless bees. After that, Jaguar Paw caught a frog, then broke off some sharp thorns from a nearby plant. He pressed the thorns into the frog's skin to coat them with poison. Then, he prepared to ambush his enemies, hiding and waiting in the dense foliage. Soon, Zero Wolf and his group arrived, chasing him. Jaguar Paw quickly placed the poison-tipped thorns inside a leaf tube, then blew it through a pipe, striking one of his pursuers with the deadly thorns. The poison spread quickly, and the man collapsed instantly. Noticing a missing member, Middle Eye turned back and came face to face with Jaguar Paw emerging from the bushes. Both men charged at each other in a fierce battle. Jaguar Paw dodged Middle Eye's attack, grabbed a fallen weapon, and ended Middle Eye's life in a swift strike. Suddenly, it started raining heavily, and Jaguar Paw realized that his wife and son, hiding in the pit, were in danger. Rainwater was flooding into the pit, and Seven was struggling as the water level rose, all while her labor pains were intensifying as the baby was about to be born. At this point, only 3 members of Zero Wolf's group were left, with the rest killed in the chase. As Jaguar Paw was running, he remembered something and turned back to face Zero Wolf. Zero Wolf shot an arrow at him, and Jaguar Paw fell to the ground, but he quickly got up and pulled the arrow from his chest. Zero Wolf charged at Jaguar Paw to finish him, but Jaguar Paw stood still, watching calmly. At that moment, Zero Wolf triggered a trap, falling right into it and being impaled by sharp wooden stakes, ending his life. Jaguar Paw had purposefully led him there, knowing the trap was in place. After that, the 2 remaining members of Zero Wolf's group arrived, and Jaguar Paw had to start running again. Meanwhile, in the flooded pit, Seven was struggling to keep her son on her shoulder to keep him safe from the rising water. Despite the difficult conditions, she managed to give birth to her second child. Jaguar Paw, weak from his arrow wounds, eventually reached the edge of a beach. Exhausted, he could run no further and sat down. Just then, his two pursuers arrived, but instead of attacking, they stared ahead in shock. In front of them were large Spanish ships, approaching the shore. The two Mayan warriors, mesmerized by the sight of the massive, unfamiliar ships, lost interest in Jaguar Paw and walked towards the shore to get a closer look. But Jaguar Paw took this opportunity to slip away, running back into the jungle to rescue his wife and children. Jaguar Paw arrived just in time and was able to save his wife and their two children. Afterward, he and Seven looked out at the large Spanish ships anchored along the shore. Seven asked him if they should go toward the ships, wondering if it was the right choice. But Jaguar Paw decided that they would stay in the jungle and start a new life there. With that, the family turned away from the shore and walked back into the depths of the forest, ready to begin again.